What's up? It's Nerd for Jinsei, Jin for short. I'm here with another video of Exos Heroes, and today I'm going to talk about progressing through the story mode, and some tips and tricks to try and break through the wall that you will eventually hit, especially if you're free to play, or if you don't have FC Xeon to just solo the whole thing for you. Right, so in the story, right, you'll be trugging along, it'll be no problem, nothing to worry about, and eventually you will hit a fight, usually a boss fight, and they'll just floor you completely. You're like, what just happened to me? I don't get it. The first time this happened to me, I believe, was in 5-7, right? And it wasn't like I barely didn't clear it or I got him to half health and then I died. It was just I got to the second wave where the boss was, he used an AoE and my team was basically dead before they got a turn. So when you hit these walls, first off, I suggest you run it again, right? You usually, if you're going to run it the first time, it's on auto, you're not even paying attention, right? So run it again. If you weren't paying attention at all, run it again on auto, see what went wrong, right? After you do that, if you think you can manual it, just manual it without doing anything else. Just manual it, get past it, right? If you're, like I just said, what happened to me and you just got completely crushed, then look at how you lost, right? For example, when I got stuck, I was basically using a team similar to this. I was using Baraka over here, Rudley, but Bethany, whatever her name is. I think I was using Karen and someone else at the time. And what I realized what my problem was Rudley and Karen were getting broken off of the boss's first AoE, right? So the boss did an AoE, did a lot of damage to my entire team, but those two specifically got broken, so they were dead before they even took a turn, right? So what I did was I switched those two out, right? Because Rudley is good. He's a faded hero, 5-star, great damage. However, if he's gonna die before he even takes a turn, there's no point, right? So I took them out, and then I decided, when I was thinking about what I wanted to put in, I thought, how am I dying? How am I losing? And the answer is I'm just getting crushed by this AoE. So what I wanted to do was replace them with either healing or some sort of damage mitigation, which is why that's how I came up with the team that I have right now. Right, so to survive, because I didn't just gonna manage team. So to survive all the damage that was coming into me, I decided to use Luke over here because he has alright. First of all, when people get low, he can provoke an AoE provoke, which is really great. And then on his fourth skill, he has share health with all allies, right? So this allowed me to sustain for longer and push past the boss's DPS and clear it. And then I just put in Lepin, which just your average healer, basically. Lepin is nothing special. So this just goes to show that, like, even if you have some faded heroes, right, or even if you have some FC heroes, if you get stuck in certain points, you have to look at how you're losing and look at the heroes that you're using and possibly replace a hero with a hero that is overall weaker, but in this situation, in this instance, is stronger. It's not that you don't have the OP heroes like FC Xeon, although FC Xeon might be able to solo it, right? But that's not why you're not winning. You're not be able to get past it because the hero composition or the team composition that you have right now isn't working, right? So I took out Rudley, who's a faded hero, and I would say, you know, overall more use than Luke or Lepin, maybe. But in that instance, completely useless. Might as well use a 1-star or 2-star, right? So that's the first tip, right? Is to not be afraid to use 4 stars or even 3 stars. There's some really good 3 stars. I mean, Iris is really decent, right? And you get her for free right off the bat. But not to be afraid to look at all your 4 stars and your 3 stars to see if they can't help get you past the wall that you just hit. And not just have a mindset of, you know, I don't have all the OP heroes, that's why I can't clear this. GG, pay to win. Right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, this is the most obvious and the easiest way, which is gear. Right? Gear and levels, right? That's more if you look at it and you don't think it's your team comp, right? So the first thing you should do is look at your team comp, right? If your guys aren't getting broken and it's not a matter of like you're using just a whole bunch of, you know, healers or something, you have no damage, or vice versa, right? You have a good balance in your team. Your guys aren't just getting broken. You know, it's just a matter of you're not strong enough. First, I would say try to get a few levels. Just use what scrolls you have going around to get a few levels, see if that helps. Second is to go with gear. But the reason why you want to wait on upgrading your gear, if you can, is because, you know, upgrading your gear requires gold and it requires, I don't know what they're called. Let's see. Just a second. Yeah, I don't know what this is called. But it requires materials to level it up, right? And chances are, at the moment, you're not using gear that you're going to be using even a day from now, right? Like this green gear, right? A day from now, I won't be using it, right? I'll be using blue gear. And maybe a few days, 2 days, 3 days after that, you won't be using blue gear, you'll be using purple gear, right? Legendary gear. So you don't want to invest too many resources in gear that you're going to phase out like really quickly, right? That's just a waste of resources. Which is why I really suggest that you wait, right? So when it comes to green gear, I got this at +10, but if you can, don't upgrade it at all. When it comes to blue gear, it's a bit safer, right? I would recommend going to +10 and leaving it there if you can, not getting it to +20 like I have here. Right, and then once you get the purple gear, you can just +30 that instantly. Also, don't worry about, like, you know, 3-starring any of this gear or anything. That's a definitely no. That's a waste of resources. Another thing, this goes with resource management, which will help you progress quicker, is save your tickets in everything, right? For all the challenge dungeons. So for the lunar and the solar, right, which gives you gear, don't just do them right away. I have a bunch of tickets because honestly, this is my account on the Japanese server, but I want to play on global server, so I re-rolled. But anyway, right, so we have this dungeon right here, right, and it has blue gear in it, and most likely I will be getting a bunch of green gear, and maybe every once in a while blue gear. Whereas if I manage to push through without using any of these tickets, I managed to push through 715, right, and I can unlock the next stage, I'll be getting a lot more blue gear and a possibility of getting the purple gear, right? So if I can hold out and use all these 12 tickets on the very hard instead of hard version of the solo trade route, I will get a lot more bang for my buck for each of these tickets. So I definitely suggest that you try to exhaust all options of trying to progress and get as far through the story as you can before using your tickets. And even in general, like some people just, it's reset. All right, let's use my tickets. No, get as far as you can through the story, and then at the end of the day, use your tickets. Or use your tickets when you're really stuck and you need new gear, right? That's the only way you're going to get past is you need new gear. Then use some tickets, get some gear, and get through it. And lastly, once you get to the final map in the it's not only as you progress through the story, right? Like I said, you'll unlock the higher levels of the challenge dungeons, right? But also, as you progress through the story, you'll move through new areas of the map. And as you move through new areas of the map, the rewards for exploration also increase. Right? So right now, like these are pretty decent rewards, right? Not too bad, not too bad. However, if I can once again hold out until I progress through the story and I get to the last area of the map, I forget the names, like North Von something or rather. I think this guy actually tells you, the equipment guy. But anyway, if you can hold off until you get to the last a second. Airship Forge. To the last map area, you'll get a lot better rewards. Yeah, he's not going to tell me. Sorry. You'll get a lot better rewards for your exploration, which is why, using these, obviously, use them up because they regenerate really fast, and also every time you go to sleep, obviously, there's no reason not to. It's a waste not to. However, for example, you get all of these, right? All of these levy stones, right? You get a bunch of them as you're progressing through. And I'm sure a lot of people just receive them right away and then go on exploration. But if you can wait and hold out until you get to the last map area and then just use them all at once, you will get a lot more bang for your buck once again. A lot more resources, which will allow you to you'll probably get a few purple pieces of gear, legendary pieces of gear from exploration if you can hold out, which will help you progress through the story and get to the end, because by the time you get there, I'm pretty sure you're on chapter 8 or maybe chapter 9, right? So you're pretty far in, but the further you go in, the harder it gets. So if you can, just wait it out. I think that's about it, honestly. Those are my quick tips. Again, it's kind of like common sense stuff, but especially for the heroes, I feel like a lot of people just kind of blame their heroes or their hero pool. I don't have FC Xeon, I don't have FC Anna, I don't have Rochelle and all of the OP fated heroes, but there are a lot of viable 4 stars and a few viable 3 stars that you can use that'll be able to help push you through the story. So I suggest you take a hard look at all of the skills for all of your heroes. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching. Jin out. Peace.